Criminologist's Depot presents the 9 thematic areas of Nelson Mandela rules. Prisoners' inherent dignity and value as human beings. This thematic area refers to the Rule 1 to 5 of the UN Standard Minimum Rules, which encompasses the 5 basic principles underpinning the entire set of rules. These basic principles are applicable to all categories of prisoners, and these are the following. 1. Prisoners must be treated with respect for their inherent dignity and value as human beings. 2. Torture or other ill treatment is prohibited. 3. Prisoners should be treated according to their needs, without discrimination. 4. The purpose of imprisonment is to protect society and reduce reoffending. 5. The safety of prisoners, staff, service providers, and visitors at all time is paramount. This thematic area provides the following general obligations. A. Treat all prisoners with respect and observance of their human rights at all times. B. Prohibit and protect prisoners from torture and other forms of ill treatment. C. Ensure the safety and security of prisoners, staff, service providers, and visitors at all times. Vulnerable groups of prisoners. This thematic area refers to Rules 2, 5, Paragraph 2, 39, Paragraph 3, 55, Paragraph 2, and 109 to 110 of the UN Standard Minimum Rules. It adheres to the principle of non-discrimination regardless of any other status. It provides the following general obligations. A. Take account of the individual needs of prisoners, in particular the most vulnerable categories. B. To protect and promote the rights of prisoners with special needs. C. Ensure that prisoners with disabilities have full and effective access to prison life on an equitable basis, and are treated in line with their health conditions. Medical and health services. This thematic area refers to Rules 24 to 27, 29 to 35 of the UN Standard Minimum Rules. It emphasized the state responsibility to provide health care to prisoners. Further, it enhanced the ethical and professional standards of healthcare practitioners to provide services to prisoners the same as to their patients in the community. It provides the following general obligations. A. Ensuring the same standards of healthcare that are available in the community and providing access to necessary healthcare services to prisoners free of charge without discrimination. B. B. Evaluating, promoting, protecting, and improving the physical and mental health of prisoners, including prisoners with special health care needs. C. Adhering to the principles of clinical independence, medical confidentiality, informed consent in the doctor-patient relationship and continuity of treatment and care, including to those with infectious diseases and drug dependence. D. An absolute prohibition of healthcare professionals to engage in torture or other forms of ill treatment, and an obligation to document and report cases of which they may be. Restrictions, discipline, and sanctions. This thematic area, encapsulating rules 36 to 39 and 42 to 53 of the UN Standard Minimum Rules, outlines several important guidelines. 1. Defines solitary confinement and restricts its use to a measure of last resort, allowing it only in exceptional circumstances for a limited duration of more than 15 consecutive days. 2. Prohibits indefinite or prolonged solitary confinement, the use of dark or constantly lit cells, reduction of diet or drinking water, and the application of inherently degrading or painful instruments of restraint such as chains. 3. Provides detailed instructions on prisoner and cell searches, emphasizing the legitimate use of restraints to ensure security without compromising the inherent dignity of prisoners. 4. Highlights the role of healthcare professionals in paying particular attention to involuntary separated prisoners, excluding their direct involvement in imposing disciplinary sanctions. 5. Encourages the utilization of conflict prevention, mediation, or alternative dispute resolution methods to prevent or resolve conflicts within prison. Investigations of deaths and torture in custody. This thematic area, covering rules 6 to 10 and 68 to 72 of the UN Standard Minimum Rules, outlines key revised rules. 1. Specifies confidential information to be documented in the prisoner file management system upon admission and during imprisonment. 2. Details the right of prisoners or designated contacts to be informed about imprisonment, transfers, serious health concerns, or deaths. 3. Mandates reporting any custodial death, disappearance, or serious prisoner injury to an independent authority for prompt, impartial investigations into the circumstances and causes of such incidents. 4. Requires similar investigation procedures when instances of torture or ill treatment are suspected in the prison, regardless of whether a formal complaint has been. Access to legal representation. This thematic area, covering Rules 41, 54 to 55, 58 to 61, and 119 to 120 of the UN Standard Minimum Rules, delineates the following obligations for prison administrators. 1. Inform prisoners upon admission about authorized means to access legal advice, including legal aid schemes. 2. Ensure prisoner have adequate opportunity, time, and facilities to meet and communicate with a chosen legal advisor or legal aid provider promptly, without interception, censorship, and in complete confidentiality. 3. Uphold the right of prisoners to self-representation or legal assistance, especially in cases involving serious disciplinary charges where justice interests demand it. 4. Avoid visitor search and entry procedures that are degrading or less protective than those applied to searches of prisoners and complaints and inspections. Covering Rules 54 to 57 and 83 to 85 of the UN Standard Minimum Rules, this thematic area outlines the following provisions. 1. Expansion of the right to file complaints to include prisoners' relatives or any knowledgeable individuals when the prisoner or their legal advisor cannot do so. 2. Mandatory implementation of safeguards to ensure requests and complaints can be submitted safely and, if requested, confidentially, without exposing complainants to retaliation, intimidation, and adverse consequences. 3. Establishment of a dual inspection system involving internal or administrative inspections conducted by the Central Prison Administration and external inspections carried out by an independent body outside the prison administration. 4. Provision of key entitlements to prison inspectors, enabling them to effectively fulfill their duties, including access to prisoner records, unannounced visits initiated at their discretion, and confidential interviews with prisoners. Terminology. This thematic area is applied consistently throughout the update of the UN Standard Minimum Rules. The revisions aim to replace outdated and no longer acceptable terminology, ensuring alignment with modern international law standards and maintaining terminological consistency in the document. In particular, the revisions covered in this thematic area focus on adopting health-related Some of the updated correctional terminologies adopted in the Philippines under this thematic area include: A. Changing cell to dorm or dormitory. B. Replacing inmates or detainees to persons deprived of liberty, PDL, as applied in the Bureau of Jail Management and Penology, BJMP, and the Bureau of Corrections, BUSER. C. substituting rehabilitation programs to welfare and development programs. D. Transforming ranchero to food service. E. Updating mayores to chief expediter. Staff training. This thematic area, encompassing Rules 75 to 76 of the UN Standard Minimum Rules, offers detailed guidance on customized staff training. It emphasizes training provided both at admission and throughout employment, aiming to equip all prison staff with the necessary skills to execute their multifaceted responsibilities professionally. Specialized staff are to receive targeted training aligned with their roles. The induction training must encompass theoretical and practical Prison staff training should encompass the following key subject areas. A. Understanding relevant legislation and policies governing the interactions between prison staff and inmates. B. Clarification of the duties of prison staff in carrying out their roles, including the observance of the rights of prisoners. C. Training in security and safety protocols, covering dynamic security, the use of force, and proper utilization of the instruments of restraints. D. Provision of first aid, addressing the psychological and social needs, and offering care and assistance to prisoners. Once again, the 9 thematic areas of Nelson Mandela rules. 1. Prisoners' inherent dignity and value as human beings. 2. Vulnerable groups of prisoners. 3. Medical and health services. 4. Restrictions, discipline, and sanctions. 5. Investigations of deaths and torture in custody. 6. Access to legal representation. 7. Complaints and inspections. 8. Terminology. 9. Staff training. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe to my Facebook page and YouTube channel for more videos and updates. See you in the next video.